everybody, welcome back to another video. I know this is not how the Son of the Mask video should start. If you don't know, the Son of the Mask video was actually taken down. Warner Bros. Took it down. Nothing against them right now, other than the DCEU, but yeah. It was just because of some copyrighted music, which I either took out entirely or limited, so it's not over 30 seconds. So sorry about that. Along with that, the fight scene at the end was changed. Not too much. Most of it is the same. Just a bit of the choreography. So, yeah, just thought I'd quickly tell you this, and I will see you guys soon. Alright. Wait. The hell is this thing? A package? Package 05906237? Where the heck did this come from? Darmington. Where is that place anyway? Doesn't matter. Looks like a DVD. Wonder what it is. Ooh! Looks interesting. The Mask! Son of the Mask. No. 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 I haven't put myself through the torture yet. I guess I don't have to do it. Alright, let's pop this on the shelf and pretend it doesn't exist. Alright, what do? Can't put it on the shelf. I got this. I didn't even... Well, technically I didn't get it, but... It's only really one thing to do. I can't put it on the shelf. Oh god, I'm gonna regret this. What the hell did I just watch? No, seriously. I can't answer that question. I'm utterly speechless to what I examined myself to. That was torture. It was a shock therapy session. How much you can take of one movie before you decide that you can't take any more. Somehow, I could take all of it. I don't know how either, but I did. Ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen, only 9% of my audience is female. This is Son of the Mask. Yeah, I don't care. This movie sucks. Alright, so the movie begins in Edge City. Good enough. Soundtrack is decent. I can't show it, otherwise I'll get copyrighted. And I can't put that many layers of audio on iMovie. Thanks, Apple. Now, we begin with a returning cast member, Ben Steinen. Oh my god, what the hell is that thing? Well, it turns out this is Loki, played by Alan Cumming, the same guy who did Nightcrawler in the X-Men movies, primarily X2. How could he go from such a great role to this? That was horrific. That's the stuff nightmares. That's worse than Teddy Ruxpin. We are not doing an episode of that no matter how many times I have to tell you. And my finger's pointing in the wrong direction because the camera in this thing sucks. No. Anyway, that's far off topic. Basically, he has the powers of the mask. Because he is one of Odin's children, along with Thor. What is this, a Marvel movie? I did not wear that shirt for this, I am telling you right now. I really want to see what happens when he puts on the mask, though. That would be horrific. You know what? Get me a Mask 3. That's what I want to see. That'd be an actual good movie. No, it wouldn't. No, it really wouldn't. Now, if you haven't seen the previous film, well, I expect you have. You should. It's a phenomenal movie. It's a phenomenal movie. I hate this camera so much. Basically, Stanley Ipkiss, our main character in the previous film, threw it into the river, where it then landed in a city called Fringe City. Was it too hard to stay in Edge City? Apparently for Lawrence Guterman, it was. I'm disappointed. I'm utterly disappointed. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that in this review, but my god. Anyway, it ends up in the water of the backyard of Tim Avery and Tonya Avery. Tim Avery is played by Jamie Kennedy, who ruined E3 in 2008, I believe. Or 2007, one of them. I didn't do the research for that. I'm not a big E3 guy. But that's off topic. So you know you're in good hands when someone who almost ruined an entire gaming convention is the main star. Jackpot! Anyway, Otis, who now is not Milo from the previous film, even though they look identical. Wait a minute. Oh, hell no! Okay, back to what I was saying, because I kind of got off topic thinking about the fact that both animals with the same... It doesn't matter. Otis finds the mask and hands it to Tim Avery, who doesn't seem to show much interest and just focuses back on, well, Otis. When Tonya is thinking about a baby, because previously in the film I forgot to mention this, but it doesn't really impact anything because it's mentioned too much throughout the beginning. They were at a certain friend's house with a lot of kids, and Tonya is now wanting children. Tim is against this, even though he ends up actually enjoying the kid at the end. Spoiler alert, I guess. It doesn't matter, you know. This movie is... How do I say it? Well, there's no bleep sound effect, so there's nothing I can do here, but it sucks. So it doesn't matter if I spoil anything, because it's a mess. Anyway, he doesn't, like I said, he doesn't show much interest in the mask, puts it back, and I also forgot to mention that Tim is a cartoonist who wants to get more recognition in his company. His boss doesn't really care about him too much. He doesn't have much of a costume for an upcoming Halloween party scheduled that his boss had planned for everybody. And so he takes the mask, even though it can't stick on his head, so we'll just be doing this. Oh, hey man! This is a great party, isn't it? Oh no, it fell again. Exact same thing that happened to my actual mask that I brought from eBay a few years ago. The edge is now broken off. Me. Anyway, he uses it, and when he's driving, he puts it on and notices that there's a weird green glow before he puts it on. So he sticks it on and becomes... whatever the hell that thing is. So after a painfully stupid ID joke, it could have been worse, the alternate scene had 5 options. 7 actually, I counted. Well, anyway, he finally gets into the party, and everybody's hating it because the guy singing sucks. I should make a different video, literally just called Lucas, Son of the Mask, times he says suck count. Just tell me in the comments if you want that. Seriously, I could happily make a video called suck count. Maybe for my 5-year anniversary. Me. Well, this is... I could also make a count. I say randomly whenever I get the chance. I don't know why. But anyway, Jamie Kennedy takes the stage in the mask form and, personally, in my opinion, just ruins it more.
French City in the house.
What?
This is the part where you boogie. This is the part where you dance. Shake your
You probably
booty.
can't
Shake your
even
pants
hear me
like
over
this.
this
Shake your
horrible
pants. Shake your pants like this.
It's
Shake your
hard to
pants.
listen to words. I'm gonna go back to the fake phone because
Let me
this is
hear
really
you.
weird.
You just get the picture. Yeah, get the picture.
But I don't want to waste another 25 seconds doing nothing, so I'm gonna talk about how this is so bad. What were they thinking? This scene is wasting time. Help me. Well, afterwards, the next day, Tim goes back to work and finds that his boss wants to create a series about that thing. It was going to be a good series from 1995. I'm sure they would have released it on DVD one day for $200 on eBay. Not only this, but he gets moved up to the second floor, and when he arrives home, he tells his wife. His wife also has an announcement to make. She's violent. Ow, that hurt. Pregnant! Because when Tim Avery was wearing the mask, he did a little something with her. I'm keeping it PG. And, well, it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to have to explain it. I'm pretty sure you've all had the talk, so I'm not going to get into it. Especially if you haven't. The film then cuts to a scene at the doctor's, where the doctor confirms and announces that yes, she is in fact pregnant, as she throws up bubbles. What the? Yeah. You know what? I'm not surprised by the standards of this movie. Nothing's gonna surprise me anymore. Nothing. Now after this, I assume time forwarded because it is now the ultrasound to find out if it's a boy or a girl. Or at least I believe that's what it was, really. It makes it way too confusing. And Tim is watching the baby through the ultrasound, and Tanya isn't doing anything. She's just sitting there pretending that she's getting an ultrasound. Now, the baby gets up and starts dancing to Cuban Pete. You know, that would have been a great nod, but they handled it so poorly that I'm utterly disappointed. Okay, no, disappointed count is number 3. I have my count, I don't know count, and my disappointed count. All 3 of them together to make the count. Dracula will not be my next review, even though it was planned for next review. Anyway, that's way too off topic. I just started talking about random things. But no, it would have been handled great, but the fact that the screenwriters and the director took it in one of the stupidest ways they could, it wasn't right. They could have just left it out at best, or if they did plan to put it in there, at least do it well instead of making it feel awkward, tacky, and shoehorned. I don't know what it is with them skipping time, but once again they skip time with a quick montage showing Tanya basically eating, dealing with the baby once it's born, and Tim, as you'd expect, is clumsy. Because what's better than a clumsy character, eh? A geek. No, it's not. I actually prefer a clumsy character over a Greek geek, but it still sucks. And being the clumsy character he is, when the baby's whinging, he wakes up and tries to give the baby his bottle, but grabs a lamp, smashes it on a table, and almost feeds it to the baby. Which shows you the first actual sign of the baby having the mask's powers. Whoa, it totally wasn't expected when he danced to Cuban Pete. I can't breathe now, Jesus. Well, his eyes basically extend and he screams, like, similar to the honking horn in the original Mask, except this one was really creepy and weird. Nothing else. Just weird. Anyway, the next morning comes, Tonya wakes up and gets the baby because he's crying. Tim goes to work and just doesn't feel right at all. He skips over the whole thing, and once again another sign of the baby's powers. When Tonya is taking care of the baby blows up his head into a balloon when she's not looking, and, well, it ends as you'd expect. She never finds out throughout the entire movie, and it ends, as you'd expect, being really stupid and tacky, like I said, because it's like any other generic movie, like the same generic plot. That was a really generic drag-through, and I apologize for background noise. I'll try and reduce it in my settings. So, meanwhile, Loki is looking for the mask. Because Odin wants it. He failed to get it in the beginning. I'm forgetting to mention a lot of things for some reason. I'm just making pointless jokes. I'm basically the nostalgia critic, except I skip over everything. All I'm missing is the hat. Where the heck is that black hat anyway? I'm missing it. Oh, and there's a tiny coat. Not more white shirt. Anyway, Loki looks for it and goes first to look through babies that could possibly have it, because a baby was said to be born with the mask. And so he thinks that the father of the baby might have that mask. He looks through the entire list, crossing off babies and babies and babies and babies and babies and babies and babies, and it just shows a weird montage, really. Meanwhile, next is the meanwhile count. I am serious. Tim has to look after the baby because Tonya has to go on a special business trip. And this is when Tim finds out about the baby's powers. He runs across the hallway, turns into Woody Woodpecker, and goes nuts. Save me! Tim then calls Tonya on her business trip and informs her that the baby's going nuts, and she doesn't care for some reason. She takes the business trip more seriously than her own child, even though she was shown in the beginning to be crazy over it. Make up your mind, woman! Anyway, okay, seriously, anyway count is next. Oh my god, these counts, seriously. Loki finally gets to the baby. Alvy is his name, I actually forgot to mention that. And he tests the baby out, with Tim not noticing until the end, where he says tells Loki to stop, in which he does, discards the baby, and notices that he's not the one with the powers. Yeah, just give him a little more, just give him a few more minutes, maybe it'll show. I'm not, seriously, how much more generic can they make this? This is the most generic, this movie has the most generic type of ideas possible. It's generosity after generosity after generosity, and generosity means being kind, so I'm just gonna say generic. I could make the count of generic soon. Well, when Loki goes to leave, Tim wants to send the baby to a mental hospital or a therapist, as he turns his head all the way around, which kind of freaked me out, and throws up all over the windshield. Loki turns around and notices this. So when he drives away, background noise, oh no! He tries to follow them and it doesn't end so well. So they arrive to where the mental hospital or therapist should be. never summarizes which one. Though I'd be fine with either. I don't want to even bother with it. And Loki follows them in his human form, thankfully. I really don't want to see that monstrosity again. And asks him, where's the mask? And he replies with the stupidest answer ever, Tim Avery. I think my dog ate it. Really? Really? This movie was generic enough. I'm not sure how many times I'm going to have to say it, but this put generic to a whole new level. It went through the roof. Seriously. My God. Well, this does actually impact something in the film. There is a feud between the baby, who now has mask's powers, and the dog, who actually wore the mask at one point and tried to kill the baby. It was actually twice, and one of them involved him wearing it during the day. You broke the rule of the mask, and congratulations. Why? There's also a few animated clips involving this, with the dog wanting to be the center of the attention again. I'm not going to bring it up again until the end. That's the only time it impacts it. But yes, this is what happens. And then Loki shows, I don't know what to call it. I'm going to call it Green Freak from now on. No, I can't call it Green Freak. That's Jamie Kennedy with the mask. Green Freak with black marks. There. Much better. Alright, so he turns into this and tries to kill both Tim and the baby. The baby, however, shields Tim and himself. They're at a metal wall. Stretches his arms out like Reed Richards. Grabs two trash cans on the sides and starts whacking them onto Loki's head, forcing his eyes to pop out. Alright, I think I'm okay now. That was just a little horrific to view, you know? When something like that happens, when someone's eyes pop out, it just really makes you, just tighten. Let's hope they don't do that again. Imagine if they went into space. Jesus, I'd be running out of this room. It's called foreshadowing. It's when you hint an event, but don't show it until long after. Anyway. Okay, I need an anyway count too now. So, they never go to the mental hospital, aka therapist, like I said, never make it clear. It really annoys me. They get home and Alvy's planning to go to bed. It's almost night. And so, when Tim Avery is why do I always call him Tim Avery and not just Tim? I'm calling him Tim from now on. When Tim is putting Alvy to bed, Loki comes in and almost gets Alvy. But Odin had taken away his powers beforehand. So he asks Odin to give it back. He's found the baby, and so he gets back his powers through this weird, elongated speech, I guess. Cursed mem? I don't know what to call it. But it grants him his powers back, and it looks like really he's just... What is he? What is he doing? What has he seen for him to act like that? My God. His mouth is gaping open the whole time, which is kinda weird. Not just kinda, really weird. And so he gets his powers back and takes Alvy with him. Tim is freaking out. Not only because Alvy is gone, but because Loki tried to pose as his wife. And the baby. I have a feeling I'm gonna have to put in more music soon. Just to keep you just to keep you driven, because I'm gonna freak out every now and then. But I won't. Calm down. I'm gonna do this. And that's what I'm gonna be doing. And finally, Tanya comes home after all this time. Little too late, missy. Tim goes crazy because, well, he thinks it's Loki again trying to pose as his wife, even though it's not, but he still beats her to the ground, like any great husband would do. Really? What is wrong with him? It's the real Tanya. Just trust her for a minute. You can hear by her voice. Anyway, after this, she finds out that Alfie is gone. She tries to call the police, but Tim tries to convince her that they can't stop Loki. This is the god of mischief. But Otis has it, and he's going with a dog called Venus, which is kind of like his dog crush, I guess. And they call it Puppy Love begins playing. It's a great song, but okay, I'll admit it. It was a good choice. The only good thing about this movie, and Otis is wearing the mask. Tanya freaks out because, well, a dog is green. I'm not surprised she's freaking out. But Tim tries to convince him that they need Alfie, and soon enough, they will be great friends. Alfie gets older, and they will be great friends. I don't believe that, really, but hell, they say it, let's take it. And so, Otis gets off the mask, they take it, and Loki and Alfie are playing Twister. I had a feeling Alfie would win with that scene that, made me put in 10 seconds of music for a pointless reason. It's just trying to be fun. I'm joking. Okay. So, moving on. They finally find where Loki is. I don't know how. Did they use Google Maps? This was 2005. I'm not even sure if Google Maps existed. And if it did, it was as advanced as phones. Or even though the iPhone had color. It's as advanced as a home phone, really. It had to have been. Google Maps back then was like trying to use an actual map, except worse, because it was digital and really weird. Anyway, that's once again off topic, as usual, and they try and trade, and when Tim's trying to hand him the mask, you can see Alfie slowly staring into the mask, which ended up being one of the many posters for the film. Yeah, because a poster of a baby staring at a creepy ancient mask isn't weird at all. I mean, sure, it looks engaging, but that has nothing to do with the film. Anyway, Loki doesn't make a deal with Tim. He takes the baby for himself because I've grown attached, as he says. And basically, the mask is tossed by, I believe, Loki or Tim. Tim tries to chase after it, and the mask gets stuck on him again, as his wife makes some really weird noises, and then proceeds to say, "Hey honey, you look hot." Hot? He looks like the Jolly Green Giant. How is that hot? But he demands that Loki give him back his son through a phone for some reason. But he doesn't, and Loki simply replies with one word, the best line of the movie. No. My reaction when someone told me to watch this thing. He runs away, and then Tim, in the mask, upgrades the car into a smash road whatever with teeth and fire shooting out the back. Why would they turn their perfectly nice car into that? It's a mess! My voice just cracked. I'm gonna stop now. So they get in the car, chase after Loki on roads that are really bendy. How they did that, I don't know. Is it a set? It has to be. That is physically impossible. I'm being a little loud because there's way too much background noise. Let's hope I can use the reduce background noise tool for that to be fixed. They finally catch up to Loki in a boxing match. Yeah! This is gonna be awesome. Until Tim farted in the eye of Loki. Then I knew this was going to be like a 5-year-old Play-Doh fight. It never ends well. It goes on and on. Tim Avery, I'm still calling him Tim Avery. Tim traps Loki in a suitcase, tosses him out the window, and Loki's gone. Once and for all. No, he wasn't. The baby has to decide between going with his father or Loki. And Loki shows some really horrific things, like being a play attraction, almost like a playground thing. It was playing some really weird music. But then Tim took the mask off, removed it, and showed his true love for the baby. And Tim said, Alvy said, "Da, da," which was a joke in the movie at some point. I felt I shouldn't mention it because it barely impacted anything. I think you should be able to understand it even without me mentioning the joke, really. But they go home, Loki's crying, until he turns into the green thing. They don't go home, and it ends with Tim saving the day, not using the mask's powers to save him and his family. Oh, yay. Anyway, they finally arrive home. They watch Tim's new show about a dog and a baby fighting for attention, which was another stupid plot in the movie, as I already mentioned. And it ends happily ever after. And when I saw that The End title card, I screamed in excitement because it was finally over. This was Son of the Mask. Toodaloos, everybody. Wait a minute. I still didn't figure out who gave that DVD to me. But whoever it is, I'm finding them. And they're getting the punishment they deserve. My voice went really deep there. I liked it. Great, I found nothing. All I found was some weird research saying that if you ever want to access Darmington, you have to go to an alternate universe? What the heck? And the only way to access it is by entering a specific code of numbers. I don't know. Wait a minute. The numbers on the package. And my Blu-ray I used to use as a transportation device to alternate universes. There's only one way I can do this. I've got to enter the code. What was it again? Oh, no. Alright, I think I memorized the code. I have my transportation device, which for some reason is the Frankenstein Legacy Collection, which I still haven't opened, and I'm ready. All I've got to do is rank the films from best to worst. Part of this is my opinion. This is Rotten Tomatoes too. Bride of Frankenstein, Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, Son of Frankenstein, Ghost of Frankenstein, House of Dracula, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. Alright, now to enter the code. 059062237? Hey, why didn't I transport? Because I don't have the budget. That's why. So how about we just cut to the next scene, pretend there was some cool explosion there that I transported, and let's go from there. See you in the next universe. transport? Wait a minute. This place looks the exact same. I mean, looks a bit different. Wait a minute. Who the heck's that guy?
Who are you?
You damn well know who I am! Ah! 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 I'm breaking the fourth wall by looking at the camera. Who cares? I think I snapped his collarbone. That was Son of the Mask! This is a reshoot, if you couldn't already tell. A reshoot. 3 months later, but still a reshoot. Thank you so much for watching to anybody who makes it here. Me and this dude and the cameraman at the start of the video, who I won't name, it was me, worked on this video for 6 hours, got taken down, doing it again. I swear if this gets taken down for a second time, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. I said that last time. It's probably going to be a Cool Cat video instead of Silver Surfer. See you guys!